Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. As we head towards kickoff, two quarterbacks will be on the field today trying to push their team to victory. It's the Broncos going up against the Bears. So with kickoff straight ahead, we'll check in with our broadcast team. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, thank you much, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. Tonight, we kick off the preseason with a good matchup right away between the Denver Broncos and the Chicago Bears. Carry number one for Jordan Howard. And nothing doing on his first run. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And we get a peek at the offense and a peek at Alshon Jeffrey.
An absolute matchup nightmare for any defensive back. Size, speed, terrific hands.
Back to throw. And it's incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down. And a look now at how the Broncos line up defensively.
Robert Quinn gets to the quarterback as well as any defensive end in the league. A lot of it goes back to his high school wrestling background. He understands leverage and hands as well as anyone.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And Adams has it complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL, and a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college, they were safeties. They moved them up to outside linebacker to combat the spread offenses, and now we're seeing it in the NFL. Those same guys using their speed to make plays in the backfield, similar to that one.
This is Howard on 2nd down. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. Coach hinted to us that we may see some old power football here in this game. We got a taste of it on that first down run.
I love how he hinted it to us, and then when we were watching practice, we were watching what they call inside drill with the offensive and defensive line, and they kept putting more defenders on the other side and saying, block that. I don't care how many guys are in there. I want to run the football this week. And, boy, it has paid off for them in this game.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. The toss play, Howard. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. It's the Pro Bowl corner, Aqib Talib there to stop him.
In today's NFL, you hear all the time about stretching the field and creating space in order to run plays. A toss play will help accomplish that because now you're pushing a defense to chase you all the way to the edges and to the sideline. That's a nice run, probing now early to try and get things done later.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And incomplete here on 3rd down. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver, and that brings up 4th down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away, but the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And that will come the offense as they take over.
Let's go! Boo, landed!
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
As I watch that play unfold, stereotypes were being broken left and right. As a corner, you're often back there guarding against the pass. But how about that diagnosis and read and getting into the backfield and making a nice play and a tackle?
Now Simeon throwing left side, it's complete. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
All right, now, look at 56.
Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. And they'll go with a ground attack here. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And I don't want to say that this offense starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas, but sometimes it starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas.
There's no reason you can't say it if it's the truth. He is the alpha and the omega of the receiving corps.
Here's Simeon now on 2nd down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. This is caught inside the 15. And after a nice gain, they don't need the penalty. They'll decline it, take the ball where the play resulted.
So let's go ahead and add to the difficulties of guys trying to cover receivers. They got to deal with speed, shiftiness, all of that stuff. But how about when they have height and length and deep downfield? You throw the ball up in the air. That's how they uncover at the end of a route, by being able to go up over the top and make a big catch.
And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone. Shift together here from the D-line. Now the former Utah man, this is Devontae Booker. 2 yards on the carry there, it'll be 2nd down. The starting 11 defensively for the Bears.
Eddie Goldman's everything you want in a defensive tackle. A run stopper who can move upfield and rush the passer.
2nd down following the run.
Here we go now.
To throw on 2nd is Simeon. Catch here, left side, Thomas. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Here's Simeon, and that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Their dangerous wide receiver, an 11-yard touchdown. And the Broncos have taken the early lead. So that's the rookie's first trip to the end zone, and I think it's safe to say one he'll always remember.
Oh, without a doubt. That one is going to be imprinted forever. And nowadays, we're seeing rookies make a greater impact at that position at receiver than ever before. I think mainly because of the sheer volume of footballs that they catch in college.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. You took the words right out of my mouth. They'll come out in the pistol. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
It takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Man, wasn't that long ago that the guy playing that spot was an outside linebacker type of a guy. Now, as a defensive end, how about the speed that he used to get into the backfield and make the play?
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. And they'll go on the ground. Muscles him off. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with third and about 6 yards to go.
On a second and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
Over the middle, it's Thomas. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and he's into the clear. The 20. Touchdown, Bears. We talk about it a lot. One of the dangers of the long field goal, you got to kind of hit it low and drive it. That makes it susceptible to a block here. Not only do they block it, they return it.
And how about how well they did on the return, where they didn't create a penalty? Oftentimes in that type of a scrambling situation, someone will clip, someone will block below the waist, right? You name it. In this case, though, that didn't happen. They formed it up, and he took it all the way back for a touchdown.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch. And most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle. One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And it'll be a minimum pickup here as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. In the backfield is Anderson. And they'll give it to him here. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Second down now after the incompletion.
Set. Green, 39.
They'll look to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And the play goes for 19 yards. Gives him a new set of downs. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
First down. Here's the run with Anderson. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
So 2nd and 9, the defense looking to put them in a bad spot here. They come out here in the eye. They're going to look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. And 15 yards there on the catch and run. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Looking to throw. Oh, and it's incomplete. That would have been big in the end zone if he could have held on. Instead, it's 2nd down.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. Back to the ground, Anderson. And he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
A nickel back added defensively as they look to stop this 3rd and 8. They'll look to throw here. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities. And that run there does nothing but juice up the guys who are moving the football. I mean, if you're an offensive lineman, people running it, actually the guy calling plays, you're almost jumping up and down in jubilation, aren't you?
Yeah, now you've got options on 2nd down.
And big-time options. You might want to think about play action and try and get something cheap right here over the top.
And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. A stampede of Broncos there that time combined to get him down.
That was an example of excellent defense there. They stuffed them. So now it brings up a 3rd down situation. If I'm calling plays here, I make sure I put it in the hands of my quarterback and get it to a receiver real fast. I'm not running the ball here.
And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So 3rd and inches, trying to pick it up the middle. He had nowhere to go, tackled for a loss.
And you know how we talk about double A-gap pressure, meaning linebackers going in the gap between the center and the guard on either side? Well, it's not always to get to the passer. Sometimes you do that to prevent a running play. Worked pretty well in that situation.
12 yards on the return that time. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Now a run with Anderson. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. So the defense has put them in a tough spot. It's 2nd and long. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. 12 yards is the pickup there, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
And the Bears in the nickel. No, wait, they're in the dime. 6 DBs out there on 3rd.
Could play an exotic coverage.
They'll set up a throw. Trying to lay one up deep. So they took a shot there on 3rd down. Couldn't get it. Now it's 4.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, it... Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
No, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his 2nd there.
The name of the game, as always on defense, put pressure on the quarterback, and that's exactly what they've done today. It looks like they've got him a little bit rattled. That would have been the second interception in the first half.
Let's see what the defense dials up here. 3rd and 4.
Here we go. What? 9.
He'll drop to throw. And Jeffrey's got it. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Give him 11 yards and time and a new set of downs. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
On 1st down, they run with Howard. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35. The tackle by Robert Quinn.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
Back to throw here. Backing up. No, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his second there.
A pretty rocky start in this game for the guy throwing the ball. Already has thrown 1 interception. Almost threw a second one right there. All he's doing right now is giving the defense a whole lot of confidence.
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first.
Let's go. What? 9.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he's going to be taken down. Back across midfield, just across midfield at the 49. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. Brief break in the action here. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Chicago. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. It'll be called just a 22-yard punt, certainly not what he wanted. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be 2nd down. He's lucky to be getting that one back.
After what they've done with him all day long with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart, and his pride has kicked in. Made a terrific play.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to loft one deep left into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with a game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. Give him 18 on that one. And it'll be a Chicago first down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half.
Here we go.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Now they go screen. It's complete. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
You know the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
And that's complete to Adams. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So the Broncos coming out now. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
So we have reached halftime in our first preseason matchup of the year as we send you down to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando, where we find our man Larry Ridley with our halftime report. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this 3rd quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. So the offense dealing with a 3rd and 6. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. He finds Taylor, complete. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
No matter how you evaluate quarterbacks, at some point arm strength is going to come into the conversation. I'm really impressed by what I saw on that throw on the out route.
Fresh set of downs here. Shift together here from the D-line. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
They'll set up to throw. And he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise there in the dime. They set up the screen to Booker. And he's got some space here. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. A huge play there on the screen pass. 42 yards. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. About 3 yards there to the 27.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier, and this time there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. Again, we'll see the pistol here. They'll drop the throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And incomplete. Crisis averted. Almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
But depending on the team, they call that an explosive play or a chunk play, the one that they got on the previous one. They tried to go back and get another one, didn't they?
They did, but unsuccessful on that second attempt. And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. On the left side, a catch by White. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
On the handoff, this is Howard. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. A couple of Broncos there in on the tackle.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. The Broncos going dime. 2 extra defensive backs for 3rd down.
Playing pass all the way.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He hits White, complete. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they showed to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle. Well, so far, this game has gone the way the defensive coordinator had hoped. They've dictated things, and they've not let them run the ball very well at all. They gave up a nice game there. I doubt it'll back off their confidence. They've played so well throughout this entire game.
Again, it's Howard. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13. A group of Broncos there combined to bring him down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
Come on, let's go. Brad 38. Brad 38.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. He's got Adams on the hookup. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defense side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Looking to throw. Steps away to his left. And he will score. Touchdown, Chicago. It's their quarterback. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Bears have retaken the lead.
That was not a designed run. It was supposed to be a pass, but it turned into an exceptional run. What a scramble for a touchdown.
And that makes it 14-10. The Bears send the kicking team out there, and they will send this one away. Gets fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And coming out now, the Broncos. And a methodical drive last time, but they couldn't get that knockout blow. They had to settle for 3.
But you got to like what they've been doing along the way, right? It's almost like the body blows, the setup punch. As you said, they didn't get the knockout blow here, but that doesn't mean it can't come later in the game on another possession. And the defense on the other side,
maybe a little gas,
yeah,
right?
A little tired, and if nothing else, they just feel relieved getting upfield, only giving up 3. They don't exactly feel like they've handled the offense. Partney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go, and let's see who's faster.
17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Back now at Soldier Field. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. So the offense has it 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's going to be sacked back on his side of the field at the 44.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Hurry up, here we go. 3, 9, 10.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. A good pickup there. 18 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. And they only need a little bit here. 3rd down and very short. They're going to look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down. They'll set up a throw. Finding time. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
The Broncos send out their punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Come on, let's go! What? None! What? None! Ohio!
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's going to sling this deep down. And got his man. Complete. Touchdown, Chicago. Kevin White, 82 yards. And the Bears will extend their lead. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play, and just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And Denver getting set. To take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
They'll put two receivers left, two to the right. On 1st and 10, Simeon. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Very difficult night for the guys on offense. They've got to be looking at each other in the huddle and on the sidelines. How are we going to find some open space to complete a pass and find open room to run? This defense all night long has squeezed down the passing lanes, made plays on the football. It's really been a thing of beauty for them. He's got to figure all day long prepping for the game. They had to have talked about it again and again. Squeeze passing lanes, and we'll be in great shape.
It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
Simeon, and a quick throw here, that's complete. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
To throw is Simeon. Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there. 54 yards. And the Broncos have cut it to within a score. All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come. They'll try and throw for it. And unable to connect. They don't get the 2-point conversion here. Tough there. Good pass. Hit the hands. He just couldn't bring it in.
And every receiver's coach everywhere. Seeing that play, focus, focus, focus. Watch it all the way in and tuck it away.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10.
Let's go.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
A give to Howard. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with a lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on 1st down. They did that plus 3.
They go with Howard again. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up in the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
2nd down here after the incomplete pass. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
And that was a nice play by the defense. And it is tough to be an offensive lineman nowadays, especially if you're dealing with how the defensive tackles have evolved. Their quickness, their agility, their speed has changed the big guys in the middle, the center, and the offensive guards. Formerly, they were just power players. Now they have to be light on their feet as well to keep up with the speed of the defensive players.
So he makes the grab and the chains move forward.
Nice job by the offensive line giving them time to complete that 1st down pass.
On 1st down, it's Simeon. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Simeon on 1st down. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense. 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will. Well, any caused incompletion is good for a defense. But when you add to it, you get a little hit on the quarterback, knock him to the ground, make him think a little bit, hopefully knock him off his game, especially in a game of this magnitude, this tight in the fourth quarter. Got to feel pretty good as a defense.
He'll look to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
And down by 5, they've got to go for it here on fourth down. Desperation time for Simeon on fourth. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position. And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Now Howard. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Face mask penalty, and Charles, you were a defender. You know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to keep your hands away from that face mask.
Sometimes you just get out of position as a defender when you're trying to make a tackle, so you end up flailing away, and your hand gets into the wrong spot.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. Again, left side to Howard. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
They run with Howard. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first. Third down now following the run.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Another pistol look here. That one looks like he'll throw here. And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown.
And that touchdown should make you feel comfortable. But do you really feel like it's totally over yet?
Not totally, but I think you're pretty much there.
Yeah, you've still got to make sure you stay with it, do all the right things down the stretch, especially on defense. But that touchdown there, you've got to feel good about your chances.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Leonard Floyd in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback because he had no chance to block him.
Leopard, here we go now. 3-19. All right, now, look at 56.
Here's Simeon now on second down. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. And that was incomplete, but I don't know how much of that falls on the quarterback. He was pressured.
Brandon, the rush showed up so fast, the quarterback had no chance to get the ball downfield. The Bears have put an extra defender in the secondary on third down.
Yep, they're in the nickel. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They do get 18, but even that won't be quite enough. It's fourth down. And, Charles, you know what coaches always tell us. We want to win our home games. That much we know. We want to protect our home turf. They got that done in this one.
Exactly right. When you start a season, everyone's goal, win all of your home games, split your road games, and you're likely going to be in the playoffs. But when you win at home, boy, what a great feeling that is. You don't even mind if people are at your house when you get home after a win like that.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Bears...